Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers. Got my little Riley boy here, he's still off school at the moment. Just like to say Happy New Year to you all. By the time this video comes out we will be well into the new year anyway. But Happy New Year to you all.
I hurt my knee.
Eh?
I hurt my knee.
Yeah, you fell over, didn't you? You fell over indoors.
Yeah.
You're a big boy though. You bounced quite well. So today we're going to be looking at a lawnmower that came in, or not come in, I went and picked it up. My mate AJP Garden Machines, my mate Ash, he gave me a message on my Instagram to say there's a lawnmower going for sale very cheap in your area. I don't know if you spotted it or not, which I didn't. So I went onto the selling site, found it, and told the bloke I'll have it if it's still available. And he said it is, come and get it. So Kushti. Went down, picked it up. It's a little Mountfield 414 with a plastic deck, the ones that I really, really like. It's not in the best of condition at all. However, hopefully we get it all up and running. The bloke said it does run to a fashion, but it is just a bit wore out and there's a few bits need doing. But I'm lucky because what I do is I strip machines down which are no good. And if you remember a little while ago, I did a little Mountfield 414, but I needed a drive handle for one. And I went and picked one up for next to nothing. I think I paid a £5 for it. So I've got loads of spare parts should I need it, complete engine or what have you for this machine if it needs any new parts. So that's cool. Before we get any closer, that's for you. That's coming for you, buddy boy. I've got one too just here. Let's open yours up first. You've got one. This has come off of the old Amazonian wish list, so feel free to go and check out my Amazon wish list. There's stuff on there for Riley Boy and for myself. I have recently had to update it because Mrs. P bought loads of stuff for me for Christmas. So, you all right there, boy? Are you struggling a bit? How are you doing? Are you getting there? Okay, good lad. A bit of stick. Thank you very much. I just have to put the heating on because it isn't very warm in here.
Oh my gosh!
What you got? Oh, you got a nice big Kinder Egg to add to the other 155. You got a note as well.
It's an elf.
Eh?
It's an elf.
There's an elf?
No, one more.
I don't think there is. No, you got one. There you go. That's yours. Got a nice little Kinder Egg there. Who's this come from? Hi, Mick and Riley Boy. Just something small. Hope you and the family have a good Christmas. From Harry from Haggery Garden Machinery. That's my mate Harry Potter. Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
So you got a nice little Kinder Egg there. Fantastic. Cheers, Harry lad. Much appreciated.
Daddy?
Yep.
It's part for you.
Yeah, parcel for me. I've already opened it up. This has come off of my Amazon wishlist, and to be fair, I didn't that long.
You ordered one.
I didn't that long ago update my my wishlist. As I say, Mrs. P went absolutely crazy on it over Christmas time.
Daddy?
Yeah, you have that one. I've had to update it because that's just a receipt. Because Mrs. P bought it all. It says, hope you have a nice Christmas and take her easy from Bill Shed in USA. So cheers, Bill. Much appreciated. He's bought me a complete set of fuel pipe clips from quite big ones to little tiny tiddlers. So they're fantastic. So when I got a carburetor that's got a bit of a week to it, add a fuel clip and that's sorted. So cheers, Bill. Much appreciated, my friend. As always. Yep.
I know who it did. He did it. It's easy.
Take it easy.
I know.
He did say, didn't he?
Now.
Yeah, we always do grass rat, yo. We always do take it easy bit at the end. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's have a look at this Mountfield 414. As I say, I think it does run, but it's a bit beat up in places and missing a few bits and pieces. So we'll have a little look at it, see if we can't get it run. See you in a bit. Right, let's get it here in. Here it is. So it's not in the best of shape, but for what I paid for it, it'll do. Because the season's about to start in the next month or two. So straight off the bat, I have realised it's missing the block. That's broken. And what he's done is he's tied a knot in the dead man to operate it, by the looks of it. Ingenious. So that works. Let's check the petrol. It was sold as a non-runner, but he said only because he just hasn't used it. So it's all looks complete other than the cable. Let's give it a prime. Oh yeah, it primes. Right, let's see what it does. Dead man what's looking at. It's not even hunting, which is good. He's generally hunt. Good. So it all runs. So, oh. Ah, there you go. So we have got a bit of a hunt to it now. Bit of a hunt, cable fix, tidy up, bish bash bosh. So on another note, look what happened to my mower store. My mower store exploded. My roof's collapsed over the winter. So I need to get in here at some point and have a little sort out. I'm not sure what's gone on. Probably something quite simple, just screws have snapped off or something inside. But yeah, you get that sorted ASAP because before the bad weather comes in. So got to get that sorted out. Anyway, let's go inside and we'll have a little look at this one here. So let me get it set up. Right, so the first job I've got to do is going to have to be this this cable, because it's not right. That's the first job of the day. Now, as I said to you, I did actually have one of these in, which I have since broken down for parts off of an old drive one. Good gearbox, all that sort of good yummy stuff. So I've got lots of spares for this, so I shan't have to shell out any money at all for spare parts. I'm hoping anyway. It all runs, apart from the hunt it's got, which is standard on these. So let's just try and fish this cable out, which is not being very good at the moment. Oh, here you go. Ouch, right in the finger. Let's put that back into there. Hook him up. That goes onto there. That's that one. And off the old machine, I managed to secure the block off of it. So this cable actually, it does run, but it's not brilliant. We'll have a look into that in a minute, see what we can't do with it. If not, I've got a spare cable for it, but I don't want to use a good cable if the old one is serviceable. I'd rather save it for another machine. So simply disconnect your block. Now, if you tighten these up too much, then they crack. That's all there is to it. So what I do recommend is to get hold of a washer, and I have a box of washers down here somewhere. Circlips, let's find my washers. Here they are. And if you put a slightly bigger washer on the block, then it does help to stop them from splitting, and that little one there will be perfect. So I've got a spare block, which I put in my pocket. I've done something with it. I'll do with that. So I've got my spare block. Cable simply fits into the block like so, goes back through like so, and then with the washer, that goes on there, and then just you want the nut, which I've put down somewhere. There it is. You can then put that back on. So I always put a washer on these, because these snap, these little blocks, and the blocks, they sell for around about £5 a go. So they're not really something you want to be breaking, because that'll come at your profit. So this machine didn't actually cost a lot at all. So let's put that into there. That's where it should be. And then I'm just going to nick this up and tighten him up. As I say, don't do it up too tight. If you do it up too tight, it'll snap. But with a washer on there, you'll find, as long as you're careful, it'll be all right. There you go. And that's working, that's fine. So that is actually an operating block, so that's good. And the cable works too. There's a little bit of a dink to it here. What I'm going to do is just straighten that out with a pair of pliers, and then put some tape around that just to sort that out. But now that cable's working fine. So no dramas there. So that's that bit fixed. I'll do the cable bit of tape around that in a bit. So that's that bit fixed. Happy with that. Need to get this carburetor off because it's not running right. Right, so here's the side view of the machine. It wants a darn good clean. It's absolutely filthy. I've got some gunk off. Let's remove the air filter box and air filter itself. That's a bit rancid. Wants a good clean out. To remove the carburetor, check me out. Mrs. P bought me a load of tidy stuff. Let me bring it around. Check me out. Check me out. Look, people. Look. Check me out. I won't stay like that, I promise you. You want a 10mm. Let me do that camera up. 10mm, which is I think it's going to be that one there. I think my workshop is turning into Bruce Pinder's shop overnight, all tidy. Let's take that off. So two 10mm nuts. Now, fortunately for me, I'm actually able to sell some bits off of this, or a machine like this, just the other day. Actually this morning, my mate Taffy, my old Welshie. He bought one, funnily enough, for about the same sort of money, and he didn't have an airbox on his, so I sold him this morning the airbox off of the other machine that I stripped. So I've actually made money on that anyway. So I'm making money all over the place already just through having spare parts. So on the back of this airbox, you'll find this little tiny clip. I'm trying to spin this around without breaking it, might help. There you go, little tiny clip just here. And a pipe, that's your primer pipe. So you need to remove your primer pipe off of a carburetor just like so. Okay, a pair of long nose pliers, very good stuff from Amazon wish list. They're lovely, they are. So that goes there. It looks like we've got a non-standard fuel pipe, and that might have something to do with it. Look, see how that fuel pipe is actually resting on that governor? I don't think it has though. I don't think it's got anything to do with it. But we're going to rectify that problem in a bit because I have a spare part for this, which is actually the right fuel line for this. And I can then keep the fuel line for the Quantum. So I'm going to remove me cable tie with my clips I got from mowers and stuff from my mate Luke. And what do I want in there? I want a flat-headed driver in there, half sensible size, because that's actually the wrong fuel line in there. So I'm going to take that off. It's too big. Let's get a Chinese takeaway tub, shall we? So I can capture all that jug there. The jug will be lovely. I've got a cup of coffee as well on the go. I've got to have a cup of coffee on the go, haven't you? Let's remove that fuel line now, if it'll come off. Yeah, put that into there, let that drain into there. Happy with that. Let that drain out. Take that off. As I say, I've got a spare fuel tank for this, which comes with a fuel hose as well. So I'm going to put the original fuel hose back on it. So let me get the fuel drained out, and I'll come back to you in 2 shakes of a cat's tail. Right, that's the majority of the fuel now out. What you now want to do is with a pair of long nose pliers, just tip the throttle forwards, and you've got a little tiny governor spring here. That comes off. Move it out of the way slightly, and then you want to get hold of this little tiny rod off of a governor arm. Twist the throttle round, okay, and then ease that up out of place. It doesn't need a lot of force, it just pops out like so. And then your carburetor then will remove. You've got a little gasket here, so I'll try and keep in one place if I can. Yeah, that comes off, lovely jubbly. That can go back on. I've got a gasket on there, which we'll try and keep if we can. That'll go over to the bench, because that's got to have a carburetor clean done on it. Yes, I know, another carburetor clean, but that's what these machines need, so that's what I got to do. Some people say that I am the carburetor cleaning king. I would disagree with that, but I just do what I need to do. There you go. My channel is all about repairing lawnmowers. But some people would beg to differ. But there you go. That's the kind of thoughts on it before I get too involved in the politics of it. Right, so I have now removed the fuel line off of the tank as well. That's no problem. That's now done. I've got to just pick up that governor arm. That fell off. That's going to go on there, like so. That's no biggie. That just fell off. So just rest that on. In fact, that might even go that way around. What do you reckon, Mick? Yeah, it goes that way around. Cool. I'm going to spray up some gunk off, just so it gets a bit of a clean, whilst we go over to the desk and do a little tiny carburetor clean on this. Yes, I know, people, a carburetor clean, that's what I do. I have been nominated this year for the Carburetor Cleaning King, apparently. But that's a completely different story, which I'm not going to get into. Well, I might do, depends how I feel. But another carburetor clean to be done on this one. These are renowned for carburetor cleaning issues. If you don't clean them right, they hunt like anything. So over to the bench, and we'll have a look at this carburetor and see what we can't do. Right, so here we go. Got the carburetor in place. Let's remove that bowl nut first, shall we? Let's have a go at that. See what we can't do. Oh my word! Who put that on there? He-Man? Cool. Let's get a 10mm impact on it. I don't like using impacts on carbies, but sometimes it needs must. I have a spare carburetor for this if I need it. Bit of a shock treatment going on, just to loosen him up. Let's have a little look. I like to tip the carburetor sideways so that you can see what's inside that bowl when you take it off. Bit of a tap going on. Bit of a bigger tap going on. There it goes. Oh, yummy. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? We've got bits of stick in there and all sorts. Let's take the old float pin off. Float pin off, float off, needle off. Good. We've got a main jet to remove also. If it had come out, yeah, it's come out. Bit yummy, this one. There goes a jet and a tube at the same time, which is good. Let's just check that. Yeah, there's a little tiny hole in here, but these are renowned for getting plugged up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some WD-40, which is what I use for cleaning carbies. I'm going to give us a good old bath, clean this carburetor up best I can, get all the crud off the outside. Get a toothbrush in there, clean it up, air compress it all off, bring it up to where it needs to be. There's a tube, let's give that a quick little blow through. And then the main jet also, just to soften the stuff out. And I've got to remove all this paper because that'll all start collecting stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some wire wool, I'm going to clean the bowl. I'm going to get the main jet and what have you out on the nut, put all that on one side, clean the carby up, and then I'll come back once it's all been cleaned up a bit, and then we'll carry on with the clean. Right, had a bit of a tidy up, a bit of a clean up. I've done nothing other than just clean the top of the carburetor off. The bowl has been done. The bowl is not fantastic. It's got a bit of pitting in there, but all the dirt has now come out, so it'll do. Got my main jet. I want to get my files. I think they're all going to be too big, I think. Let's have a little look at this one. I think these are a bit too big. Yeah, that one might go in though. Look at him. No, too big. So I want my smaller set of files. Now with these carburetors, okay, you either drill or grind out this main jet, because they're renowned for blocking. So with lots of sideways pressure going on, I'm not actually taking no material off this main jet. I'm literally just cleaning it, but just dragging this file along the side wall of this jet. You can hear the noise. Just having a real good clean. And now that's opened it up tenfold, okay? I haven't taken no extra material off. Just really have cleaned up the outside wall. And now it's running nice. And that's your main culprit. that one there. And on these RS100 engines, as I say, they are renowned for that. So make sure you do really look how much I've bent that file up just by doing that, just by adding the sideways pressure. Next, you want to get into the tube. Same thing. Put the file in, and then bend it, drag it back. And you've got about 10 or 12 holes here to do. And all we're doing is just opening that back up. I'll go up a size now, because the next lot of holes on this tube are slightly larger, which would be that one just there. And these are all clear. So give them a good poke as well. And then you've got one up in this top side as well. Give that a clean. And that's the tube now done. So that's now running. Happy with that. I've got a little tiny slow running jet in here to take out. So undo the throttle, and it's generally about 3 threads hanging out the other side of this in case you get a bit lost with it. Okay. Before I go any further, there's a bit of crud there. I'll take that out. I don't want to be introducing anything else into this carburetor. Any more dirt? That's clean behind me now. With all carburetors, if anyone works on carburetors, you know cleanliness is godliness, people. If it's not clean, it won't work. So take that slow running jet out. Nice and gently, because there's a little tiny O-ring on there. You don't want to be breaking that O-ring. So just prise it up nice and gently. There it goes. And it's dirty in there as well. So a bit of a carburetor cleaning or water displacement fluid is what I use. And it's open to debate whether or not it works, but if you check out my other 400 videos, generally it's this stuff is what I use. So now we can go into the holes, into the carburetor. There's one here that runs out the bottom and through the throat of the carb. This one here, out through the slow running jet I've just taken out. In through the main feed. That'll go out through the bowl just there. And then go back through there again. And then you'll find there's one down in here as well. Just in there. Clean that out. Have a general tidy. And that carburetor is now cleaned. That's really good. We're happy with that. Let me just put some down into there. There's a hole down into here. Just there. That's what I want to get to. Down through the main tube. So that's that carburetor now clean. And then you've got this little tiny slow running jet just here. Yeah, that's running. We like that. So, a bit of a clean roll. Wash your old hands off. And this is the important bit when you're installing the stuff back together, is making sure you're not introducing any foreign objects back into the carburetor. Sit that little tiny slow running jet, it must sit perpendicular like so. And then put the tick over back in. As I say, you want about 3 threads hanging out the back. Give or take. You can always adjust it when it's on the machine later on, but general rule of thumb is about 2 or 3 threads hanging out. Okay. Once that's done, you can then put your tube back in. Longest bit here, that goes in first. Slow running jet, a main jet, that goes in. And then screw that down home, and just screw it down so it's well seated. Don't hang off of it. Just well seat it. That's well seated. We're happy with that. See how I'm trying to keep all the stuff off of this deck, where all the stuff is dirty. That's the trick. If you lay it down there, you're picking more stuff up. So always try and keep the carby off the dirty ground. That goes into place there. A little tiny pin, which is quite difficult to pick up. That then sits in. And then now you can do your blow test. No air. Lift the float up. Air. That all works fine. We're happy with that. We can then now get your O-ring. That's got to sit down in its little tiny groove. Get your groove on. And then get your bowl. Now, this is the important bit. When you're putting this on, your fuel pipe comes in. So your flooding bolt wants to go on the other side, okay? Because then you can then flood the machine a bit later on when it's off the machine. So I'm going to just remove that nut, just to crack it, and then just do it back up again. Because I mean to flood this carburetor a bit later on. So that goes onto there. So opposite side goes this little tiny nut just there like that. That will then all sits down. We're happy with that. And then you can get your main bolt, screwing down, and then just get your spanner and just well seat that. Again, don't go mad. If you hang off it, you'll break it. That's good enough. Carburetor is now done, clean, finished. Let's get back over to the machine and refit it. Right. Okay, so that's the carburetor now back to the machine. I have just fitted this piece of pipe, which is actually an original off of an RS100 engine with the correct fuel line on it. And also, this piece here now will now slide behind what you call the control panel of the machine, where it belongs. You tip it up sideways. There's a little tiny grommet just here. And that grommet will fit just behind this control panel. And that's what holds it in place just there. Like so, you can then bring that fuel line down, and that's the correct fuel line for it. So it always pays to keep your spares, people. Carburetor goes around this way. We now want to introduce the carby onto the studs. We can now connect the fuel line up. That now goes on. I've got a little tiny clip here to put on as well. That goes onto the fuel line there, so that's now on. You can now get your governor arm. That's got to go onto the carby. And it just sits down into there eventually. Not a lot of vavavoom here for it to go down, but eventually it will just sit. Mick says. Yeah, that's right. Just having problems locating it. Nothing's ever easy. Get a pair of long nose pliers on it. Let's get a bit of an assistance. Oh, come on. That's because it's tipping up. That's why. There it goes. There it goes. Get your spring. Your spring's now got to sit into the little tiny hole provided next to the governor arm. So pull the throttle out slightly and then just hook that in. That's all now in place. Doing what it should do. We're happy with that. This was priming beforehand, so I'm not going to touch this. So this pipe here has got a little lead to go on here. So just fit your little lead on first onto the primer. Slide that down. A little tiny clip to go onto there as well. Tip it around sideways so you can get hold of it for future times. That goes on there. Then rotate your box around. Now you've got an air breather here which goes onto a crank breather, which is a hole right at the back. Slide it round. Locate your pins and look around the back here, and that big pipe that goes onto your crankcase breather. Push it down nice and tight. Make sure it's all on, which it is. Then get your 10 mils, 2 of them. Now this has got to have a full service anyway. Yeah, it's got to have the oil change done to it and blaze sharp and balance, all that sort of good stuff. We'll check it out. I shan't be doing it in this video. I just want to get this machine running properly. That's a general idea. Nice slurp the old coffee. So they're done up. Air filter can go back on for now. And I'll get a new one for it as part of a service kit. This one's pretty shot. That goes onto there. Right, that's all now on. Let's get a bit of juice on the go. Out my old petrol can. I'll fill it up and then I'll meet you outside. We're going to fire it up and see if we haven't yet fixed the machine. Hopefully that won't hunt at all. It's got the correct fuel pipe on it. Cable block's been done. So a bit of a tidy up, bit of a clean up. I'll come back when it's done. I'll meet you outside. Right, here it is. All done. The bodywork's not brilliant. I could spray it, but for what it is, cheap little mower. Doesn't really warrant doing it because they don't fetch a lot of money, these little pushers, but they do sell well. So it'll sell as it is. Let's give it some primes. Priming nicely now. Let's give it a pull and hopefully it's not hunting. Let it warm up a touch. Last time I ran this, I dipped the dead man in and out, and that's generally what introduces the hunting on it. So let's let it warm up a touch. And then what I do is I'll release the dead man, bring it back in quick again, so it tries to introduce a surge. Like this. And when I did that on my last machine, but the last one before I cleaned it, it started hunting, didn't it? So I haven't even changed the spark plug on this yet. So it now stops as it should do. And no hunting. That's another one done. Okay, so there you have it. Quick and easy and simple. That's how I like to do them. A little carburetor clean did sort that problem out. Now, the issue is that so many people just buy these machines secondhand. They fire it up, and initially it wasn't hunting. But as soon as I introduced the brake very quickly, it soon become apparent that it has actually got a carburetor failure on the machine. And if you'd just sold that on to Mr. Joe Blogs, he'd have been back within 2 or 3 minutes saying that his machine's now hunting and I want my money back. So it always pays to just double check these machines. And a simple carburetor clean did fix it. And also the little tiny block on the cable was also replaced because the old one was knackered. So I've done that, and that was all done free of charge. I haven't actually paid anything out on this machine. It's been used, it's had donor parts and what have you, even the fuel line. All complete donor parts, all free of charge, because I bought one for about £5, I think, 2 months ago. Stripped it down for bare bones, and now got lots of spare parts. And I've even still got a complete RS100 carburetor there as well. So in case there are any more problems, I've got complete spare carburetor for that as well, but it has got to be cleaned. So there you go. If this is your first time in watching Micks Mowers, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told that 1, I've done a video, or 2, I'm on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time, where you can come up on the panel, ask any small engine questions, or whatever comes up that's gone on around the world, we can sit there and chat and have a good time. So if you want to turn up for that, 6:30 PM UK time is when I do my Saturday night live stream. I look forward to the next episode of Micks Mowers very, very soon, but until then, people, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.